There's always new games being released on the Nintendo Switch, and here's 10 of them I've been playing recently that you should pick up before the year's out. How are you feeling? You got John Riggs here. If you need your own Binge Retro t-shirt, check out my store link in the description below. They're 10 bucks. I just put them on sale for the rest of the year. Let's blow these things out. On to the Switch games. Clockwork Aquario is a game that reminds me of a game that, man, I probably would have played for the Sega Saturn or something like that. I love this game. I love the artwork. I love the style. It's that good look, feel good vibe retro feel. Not just Nintendo or Super Nintendo retro. I'm talking about even like 20 years ago retro. I was at a different time in my life, in the late 90s with the Saturn and stuff like that. Dreamcast was coming out soon. It was just a different time for me, and I loved the games during this era, especially for the home console. And Clockwork Aquario, man, I'm sure there's more story to it, being like an arcade game or like a long-lost arcade game or something like that, I don't know. But man, this game is amazing. 3 characters to choose from, has that simple gameplay mechanic, just a side-scrolling platformer where you can either bounce on the enemies, pick them up, throw them, do that kind of thing too. Creative bosses along the way as well. Such a fun game. I can't get over how awesome this game looks, how it feels. 2-player simultaneous if you'd like. Clockwork Aquario, definitely high on the list of games that I would recommend checking out, especially if you're into that retro vibe. Well, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon finally came out. This game, I thought it was going to be more of a puzzle game, which it is. It's 100% a puzzle game. But it reminds me maybe a little bit more of that Crypt of the Necrodancer, because that's kind of the attack pattern, is you're moving around this stage, and then when you attack, they also attack, but then you have to time your attacks or make sure that they're in a group, because if they're in a group, it'll be a chained attack that'll attack all the other enemies that they're touching, if that makes sense. You get your health items that way too. You can clear out, square clumps of dirt to make more room for more items to show up on screen, so you can defeat more enemies all at the same time too. I'm not very good at this game. I'm still getting better at it. I'm still playing it, but I just got it recently and I had to show it off in the meantime because it's out now. It's finally available. Shovel Knight. I'm a huge fan of the Shovel Knight series, and they're tying in that Shovel Knight theme, the Shovel Knight music, the Shovel Knight type graphics and everything. I love everything about Shovel Knight. And added to the fact that there's a puzzle game, man, listen, I'm all about it. So definitely check it out. Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. I'm going to get better at this game. I'm going to keep playing it, so excuse my poor gameplay during this video. But I just had to, it's just one of those, man, I just had to share it with you. I had to get it out there. Up next is a cute Metroidvania-style game called Trash Quest. Trash Quest. Well, you play appropriately as what my kids commonly call a trash panda, a raccoon. And in this game, again, Metroidvania style, and you kind of go from there. I like how this looks. I like games that look like this. When I first saw screenshots, I was like, it's gonna be one of those precision platformers. And you know what I mean when I say precision platformers? I mean those games where it's like, you have to jump at just the right time or move over at just the right place, or you're gonna die on the spikes. It's not that. I mean, yes, there are a couple of scenes that are like that. There are a couple places that are like that, but you can earn abilities along the way too. Get your double jump later on. Do other things later on too. You have a gun you can fire, of course, but it's just kind of a fun, cutesy game, and I love the simplicity of this, but still has the challenge that I'm looking for. Still a lot of fun. I'm a huge fan of the Metroidvania style games, and with Trash Quest, I mean, come on, you're playing as a raccoon. You're playing as a raccoon. How awesome is that? You're playing as a raccoon in this game, and I'm looking forward to playing more of this too. It just came out like just recently, so I'm still into it. Retro Highway is a game I've been having a lot of fun recently because it's just these quick little missions. It's not like this long, drawn-out, exploration through the United States. No, nothing like that. It's just quick arcade style, quick rounds. You just have to accomplish the goals. And there's several goals per stage, and if you don't want to do those goals, that's fine. You can actually clear them out and do something else. Or when you accomplish those goals, then they go away and something else will come in. And you keep doing that until it unlocks the next stage and unlock the next spike to move on to the later stages. This one is like World 3 or something like that. I'm in outer space. I'm on the moon. It's just fine. But then sometimes the challenges are things like don't crash into anything for so many miles or something like that. Or it might be pick up so many coins or have so many near misses or jump over 4 cars or something like that. There's something going on all the time. And like I said, there's these quick missions. You're going to play it for a little bit, you're going to crash, and it's not going to be a big deal. It's fine. It happens all the time. There is no ending. There is no finish line. You just keep going until you don't go anymore. And then hopefully you would have accomplished some of your goals during that playthrough. And then you can just keep going on, man. It's just such a fun pick up and play game. It's a fun game that you can just play a couple of levels really quick, a couple of rounds, move on to something else. You want to check out Retro Highway for sure. Man, you talk about old school, check this out, Demolition Crew. Well, it reminds me a little bit of something. It certainly has those black box NES graphics, and it's not quite like the game you're thinking. It's not quite like Wrecking Crew, if that's what you're thinking of. That's what I thought of too. Maybe even a little bit more like an Ice Climber. It reminded me a little bit of a few old school NES games combined into one. Yeah, maybe a little bit like Wrecking Crew, but then even a little bit like Ice Climber, because you're constantly moving up the platforms, up the buildings to get to where you need to go. And then there's certain items you can pick up later on too, like something that will make you double jump, or something that will make you so you can attack downward. But the idea is just to climb up the entire building and ring the bell. That's it. That's it. Climb up the building, ring the bell. That's it. However, has that old school retro vibe that I absolutely love. You definitely want to check out Demolition Crew if you're into that. 2-player on this one as well, so something to keep in mind. 2 players, lots of levels, yeah, just old school fun. Here's a game called Gear Shifters. Gear Shifters, to me, looked like, and then when I started playing it, it also felt like a horizontal Spy Hunter, in a way. Kind of. Yeah, kind of like a horizontal Spy Hunter, because you're in a car, and you're looking straight down, and you just move around and you shoot the other cars. There you go. But you can, on this one, you can get your items, get your build-ups. You're not driving in the back of cars like you are in Spy Hunter to pick up your smoke screen or anything like that. This one, you're just shooting the enemies, but you can upgrade and level up yourself with the items and the things that you pick up along the way. Super, super fun game, and it was just kind of fun to see and cool to see for a bit. Gear Shifters is the name of this game, and certainly on the list of games I've been playing recently. Fun, cartoony-looking, cute game called Ghosts and Apples, but don't let the fun, cartoony graphics fool you. This game actually provides a bit of a challenge. Not at first. It's one of those puzzle games, when you first start playing it, you're like, this is easy. Until all of a sudden you're just like, whoa, wait a minute. It's going too fast for me. It's doing too much for me. Ghosts and Apples is the name of this game. You're a ghost wrangler, kind of. You're wrangling these ghosts, and you're placing them in one of the tubes on either side, either above or below. That's how it works. 3 in a row will eliminate them, and you have to eliminate so many ghosts per stage to move on to the next stage. So, and when it starts getting there, you're just like, you gotta, you put one over here, put one over there. You gotta keep in track and keep in mind, they're only on screen for a little bit. So you got to know, like, as soon as a certain color comes up, you have to know exactly where to put it, whether you're putting it, like, on the top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. 3 in a row is going to make them eliminate, and you just keep going and going and going. And this game, Ghosts and Apples, super, super fun. And again, another game that you can just pick up and play a level or two if you feel like it. I was just playing this one just recently on my flight back from somewhere, and I had a lot of fun playing it. And it looks kind of fun, and it's just kind of cutesy and, easy to control, easy to manage. You just have to worry about the up, down, left, right. The character on screen, he will wrangle them for you. It's just where you place them. That's where the challenge comes into play. Might want to check it out. It's a lot of fun. All right, this is the first time I've actually pronounced this name out loud. Is it Gnog? Ginoog? Gnaug? We might know it better here in the United States as Wings of War. For maybe the Sega Genesis, perhaps. You can definitely check it out for yourself as well, and it's now available on your Nintendo Switch. So, kind of cool. I like the fact that they're putting Nintendo games not just retro-inspired, not just Nintendo, or Super Nintendo-looking, or Genesis in this case, but I love the fact that there are companies just putting these old-school games, whether they're on the Switch Online or not, just put them on their own thing. The game's already made. The game's already out there. Just add a few things to it and put it out there. And that's exactly the case with Gnaug, or Wings of War, let's call it that, huh? So it plays just like the Sega Genesis version. This is the setup I have for this as far as the screen goes, the background goes. Fun shooter. That's all it is. It's a horizontal shooter, and it's a lot of fun with this game too, because it's on the Switch version, there's also a rewind feature. So if you've never been able to beat it, like me, because I've never been able to beat this game, I can now go through, and if I happen to crash, I can rewind it and keep going from there. I just want to go through the motions of beating this game. And this game, it's for, like I said, I grew up with it for the Sega Genesis. I never had this game, but I think I rented it once or twice. I think a friend of mine had it as well. But I love these shooters, and I love games like this. The Genesis had a lot of great ones, and hopefully this will open the door for more great Sega Genesis games, and Nintendo and Super Nintendo, and hey, hopefully even TurboGrafx 16 games to be ported by themselves to the Nintendo Switch. I'd be all for it. It's another game I can't pronounce. Treasures of Aegean, something like that. Fun game on this one. The animatics and the storytelling and everything looks like a comic book. It looks like it came from comic pages, which I kind of like that idea. I'm showing you the very, very, very beginning of this game. I just went ahead and just started over just so you can see a little bit of the beginning part anyway. Don't want to spoil anything later. But it plays like that side-scrolling. It reminds me a bit of like those, what were the, like, you know, like Flashback Out of This World. Maybe a little bit more like Prince of Persia, but not as particular. It's just a fun platformer, but it's more about the running, climbing, pushing things into holes so you can, you know, get clear past the level, swinging across vines. This is the game that should have been Pitfall 2. This is the game that should have been a proper sequel to Pitfall, maybe in that aspect. I'm not exactly sure. Like a side-scrolling Tomb Raider, maybe? I don't know, you could put that in there. But again, I don't want to spoil anything too much later on, but it's more about the exploration and kind of solving these puzzles and solving the mystery of what's going on with this random volcano that appears out of nowhere with this game. But I've been enjoying this game so far too. Might want to check it out. I heard so many great things about Loop Hero. I had to check out Loop Hero for myself. Now, something to keep in mind with me, myself, I'm not the biggest RPG fan. I'm not the biggest strategy fan. I like having complete control over my own character at all times. However, this game is really, really interesting, and this game gets more and more curious the more I play it. It's called Loop Hero because you literally just go around the loop every time, and if there's enemies in the way, you attack your enemies. Now, you don't actually attack your enemies by slashing your sword with you hitting a button. It does it for you, depending on where your stats are set, what weapons you have in place. You know, that's kind of what's going on with this game. But then after you defeat enemies, and after you move on, and after you unlock things, then you can add to your area. You can you get little cards, or you get your upgrades, and you put those on the map, or put those in your inventory. So when you run across another enemy, then it'll be easier for you to kill, because maybe you'll have a better sword, you'll have a better shield, you'll have better armor. You know, you can. You know, I literally just put in Dracula's castle, and now I'm fighting this Dracula zombie vampire thing. You know. Things like that, which is going to get me more abilities and more weapons and better experience and things of that nature too. Like I said, it might look a little confusing if you're not used to games looking like this, and I'm not used to games looking like this. However, the more I play this game, the more I'm kind of getting into it, and I definitely wanted to share it with you because Loop Hero, again, I heard a lot of people talking about it, a lot of great things about it. Had to check it out for myself, and it's available for the Nintendo Switch. And it's another game I need to spend more time on, but certainly wanted to let you know about it. What have you been playing recently? Let me know in the comments below. Always checking out new games for the Nintendo Switch as well, and we will see you super soon, I promise.